Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Frozen Fortunes and the start of a brand new season, one which I think we'll have some fairly high hopes for, but we'll get to that in a minute. Before we get into that, I did want to quickly say thank you to any new patrons over the last week. I promise I will get your names in the end card and shoutouts and stuff once I get back, but just to everyone, thank you so much for supporting the channel. It's really, really cool. Just everyone that watches the videos, that's amazing. Anyway, let's get into the stuff. So after the analysis at the end of last season, we kind of noticed where we were really weak, although frankly we didn't really need much of the analysis to notice that some areas of this team were definitely going to need to be strengthened, particularly in the middle with players leaving, and at the back is another area that I felt was definitely just a little bit on the weak side for my liking, and I think we've rectified some of those problems, but we've also been presented with some brand new errors thanks to FM. So obviously there's not a lot to see on this screen, it's mostly just players coming in, players going out, you know how it is, Argentinians join us, they're either not good enough, so I just leave them and they get sold to other clubs, or we release them, you know, the usual sort of jazz. And a load of players still coming in over this period, no shortage of those too. And we've got plenty more to come over the transfer window, but we did get a big batch in sort of July. And the first thing that's important to mention is that Ponzio has left us. It's a shame. I don't know if he's actually joined another club yet. Let's have a little look, because I'm a little unsure on that one. Maximiliano Ponzio, he's a free agent. He left us to join no one. This is the kind of nonsense I'm on about. What? I don't bloody believe this. I actually cannot believe this. This is ridiculous. So, yeah. We're going to try. I'm doing this right now. I'm going to finalize these promises. That is unbelievable. So he wouldn't sign a contract with us up until at any point and left the club. And he's not actually signed for anyone. Wigan are interested, and they were interested in him while he was with us. I did try to ship him off when he had like a week left on his contract and try to put in one of those 50% of next sale fee clauses, but none of the clubs were having it. That would have been the ultimate mugging if we'd got away with that. But speaking of that clause, as you know, I sold Fabian Tuvenol to Lorient in the winter transfer window for £4,500, I think, with that 50% of next sale fee clause. And I was looking through, what is it? It's on clauses. I didn't even notice this menu existed. So you can see players we've sold, oh, we're actually owed another payment by Odense. Okay, interesting. On here, there was a thing for Tuvenol, but there was a little money symbol next to him. And I clicked on it, and it said that the board had negotiated a deal with Lorient, which meant that I could sell them that 50% of next sell clause back to them for £151,000. Now, okay, I appreciate it that later down the line, they might sell him for £5 million, and we've missed out on £2 million. But at this stage in the save, £150,000 is operating costs for like a third of the season for us. So I had to do it, and we needed that extra money because I really wanted to make a push for the playoffs this year, and we needed to sign a decent number of players to do that. Now, that's been a little bit more problematic than you might imagine. So the new fresh problem I was talking about, just when I thought we'd sort of got everything under control and there was definitely a chance for us to actually do stuff, a couple of Argentinians came in that were like unbelievable. Like we had 2 4-star players and one that was 5 stars. Now, I don't even think he was that. I think he might have even been more in terms of his, like it said 5 stars initially, but I didn't really look at him relative to the rest of the squad. And I actually think that he brought them down so much that in real comparisons, he's probably like a 7 or 8 star player. It was this guy called Batista. I'll see if I can find him in this list here. I'll get back to you in a sec. Here we go. Batista Gomez. This is the guy. I don't know how much we can see about. This is the guy that came in. Now, I think he's unbelievable. You might notice he's not currently playing for us, and there is a reason for that. He would have been the perfect midfielder. He's resolute personality. He has unbelievable physicals, and this guy was willing to sign for us. Slight problem is that once he and the 2 other guys I mentioned joined us, and I tried to sign them onto full contracts, they then refused because the squad wasn't strong enough. So I didn't even get a chance to actually sign them. It got to the point where now, at least normally we get 1 year out of these players, but this guy didn't even want to sign for us once he got here, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. And it must have been really, he must be amazing really, because he was obviously in the squad at the same time as 2 more players that were as good as he was. So, yeah, when I saw him and another guy called Luciano Vega, I thought, right, this is our perfect centre midfield partnership. We might have just absolutely won the game. And if we'd got him and the other guy, we probably would have been going up this year, because this guy is unbelievable. And I'm so gutted that we've lost him already. Hopefully, though, if we could just keep hold of a couple of these guys for a little bit, then maybe we can convince some of them to stay when we get a batch of them coming through in January. Hopefully, that's the plan anyway. But I definitely think there's a lot more to be mined from these Argentinian players. The more of them we can bring in, the better, because there's more chance of some of them staying. A bit of a shame on that one, but don't worry, some of them have stayed, just not quite the sort of level that those guys were at. The first of which is this guy. This is Fabian Moscuzza. Is it Moscuzza or Moscusa?
Mi scusi. Mi scusi.
Yeah, which way did you pronounce his name? I know in Italian it's one way, but I don't know if it's the same in Argentinian with the sort of stopping sound in the middle of the Z. So yeah, we'll go with Moscuzza for now. But yeah, I didn't really need another wingback, to be honest. But when this guy came in with his professional personality, his ability to play as a wingback, decent crossing, decent dribbling, decent acceleration, marking, passing, tackling. Also, most importantly here, he is 6'4" and has decent jumping reach. So I don't think he's going to get beaten at the back post like Mikkel Gravgaard has been. I think there's a lot more to be gained from this guy, and he signed a 2-year deal with us. So I think Gravgaard might be getting pushed down the pecking order. Bit of a shame on that one because I just put him on a new contract, but sometimes you can't help it. When you find a player like this, you kind of just have to give them game time. I don't see any, other than his off the ball, I don't see any dramatic weaknesses in his game, but we'll have to see. The second player that's joined us that will actually be staying with the club, at least for a year, this guy is Juan Shizzy. Is that Shizzy? That's a cool name, either way. He is a central midfielder. He'll probably play in that attacking midfield. I'm not sure. We've got another guy that I'll show you in a minute as well on loan. He's fairly professional, which is good as well. I'm fairly pleased with him. Let's just see what he's got here. So first touch is sodding. Sodding? Is solid. His heading is a bit rubbish. But he's got all right jumping reach. Marking, passing, tackling isn't amazing. Decisions and concentration isn't bad. I think he's all right. He's got try-killer balls often, which kind of works with what we do. The long shots one could be a problem for us, but then it would be no worse than Thorstensen being in the team, to be perfectly honest. He's not amazing, but he's definitely better than what we have. And I felt that was worth it alone to bring him in. And I was getting a little bit desperate because we'd obviously had the lack of the Argentinian players staying. But this guy we could convince to stay. And who knows, he's got a good personality too. So we could see some good things from him this year. And the final sort of major transfer in, although this guy is only on loan, this is Seth Anor. He's Ghanaian, and obviously the game's made him white for a bit. He was black yesterday. Oh, God. Yeah, he's probably going to be our sort of playmaker in the midfield. He's got decent enough stats all around. I really like the guy. He's a 5-star player. He's on a fair amount of money, but don't worry, we've still got an absolute loads of it. We've still got another £1,500 of wage budget left to last us through the rest of this window. So we are definitely not struggling on that front. We've really cleaned up our wage bill quite considerably by getting a couple of players that were on decent money to stay with us on amateur deals. People like Dan Benson, who I don't think is ever going to leave, but we were paying him £210 a week, so I'd rather keep him in the squad with that. This guy, he's on loan from Norgeland. I think he'll be decent for us this year. I didn't really want to have to pay that kind of money to bring a player in, but when you put in that situation where there's not that many more players joining us between now and the end of the transfer window, so I thought getting a loan player in was a good idea. But other than that, we've not really lost anyone other than the players that I expected to lose, i.e. Ponzio, who might well be rejoining us. Although, to be honest, do we really need him? Based on the players we've got in at the moment. If we could get him back and he doesn't want an absolute earth-shattering amount of money, then I might be willing to bring him back into the team just because we might get some resale value from him then. Move him on in January, get a 50% of next sale fee clause in him or something, because he's clearly a solid player and he played well for us last year. But hey, we'll see how we're going to do with this new pair in the midfield. There's a couple of other players that are coming from Spain as well that aren't amazing but could still bolster our central defensive line, and we might well get them on some decent contracts as well. So just the one live comment in today's game, since it is a transfer episode, although we'll see how the time goes as well. We've got a very tough start to the season. In fact, we'll just show you the league while we're at it, because some changes actually happened after I mentioned the league at the end of the last episode. So Aarhus did come up, but you might notice that Schellerup are in this division instead of Arbey, and that's my fault because I actually showed you the league at the end of the last season without realising that the league hadn't actually finished yet. At the time, it looked pretty sewn up, but yeah, Arbey managed to mess it up so badly that Schellerup actually snuck into the promotion spots instead of them, and I'm kind of glad for them, really. We battled a lot with Schellerup during the lower divisions, and it's nice to see them playing at the same level as us. Plus, I hope it guarantees us 6 points off them, or maybe even 9 this season, so that'll be pretty damn good. Yeah, and everything else is fairly simple. Vencisel obviously in there too. Viborg stay with us. Helsingor stay with us. Hobro. So I'm guessing that the only team that actually went up was Vela. Everyone else seems to have stayed down because we've only got Adents that are new to this league. Great, they're back down again, lads. Good, just what we needed. So when it comes to planning for this team, I made some changes or talked about these changes in the analysis episode. The idea of moving Ferro out to the left-hand side, putting Gardner through the middle since Ferro is more of a poacher kind of player and he's very left-footed, putting him in his natural role maybe and keeping Brendan on that right-hand side. I'm pleased with that, personally. In the middle, we've got Anor and Shizzy. This seems to be the best method, the best way round of playing these two. Shizzy's more comfortable in that role, but then Anor is less comfortable. I mean, we can flip them around and see who kind of does best when they're playing in what position, basically. Moscutza and Lopez there. Carrizo, Augustin, and Perez, the new guy, Alejandro Perez. So this is Alejandro Perez. I don't know why I said it like that. It felt good, and I'm going to keep doing it. Also, apologies if there's a weird cut there. I had to go answer the door, but it was in the middle of a sentence, so I don't know how I'm going to piece that one back together. We can rebuild it. But yeah, he's got the good personality, and I think he's decent. It's just that there's some slight holes in his game that are really glaringly obvious. The 7 jumping reach. He's only 6 foot tall, which isn't bad, but the low heading... I mean, heading isn't that bad if he had decent jumping reach, but he doesn't. So I do worry that he's going to get destroyed in the air. He looks like he could be a solid ball-playing defender. He's got that 7 passing, which should be decent. Flair isn't too bad either. Decisions, determination. There's a lot of things I like about him. There's just a few things that we might have to see if he gets beaten in certain situations. However, having Moskutsa at right... Perez will be right next to Moskutsa, and as a result, he might be able to win some of those headers for him. That's the plan anyway. 6'4" wingback. This is great. On the bench, we're going to go with Kovacic, Gravgord, Dirmosa. Chavals is another Spaniard who's come in. He is a striker. Decent enough. Well, he's actually not got great finishing, but he's better than nothing. Although, really, I think I'd rather have Neil Hutchinson on the bench, to be honest. Ingolfsson, Alfonso Mendoza, who is another Spaniard who's coming in. He can play in any number of positions, but he's got that driven personality, which is kind of why I'm kind of interested in him as well. He might require some retraining. In fact, not only has he got a driven personality, but he's got 18 determination. This is the kind of guy that I'd like to keep around the club regardless, because at one point in the future, he could be the best tutor we could imagine. Well, not the best tutor, but one of them. What question for you in the comments, guys? He doesn't really play in a position that we can use right now. What should we retrain him as? Like, should we push him further forward? I don't think it's worth because of the striker. Would he be better as the centre mid or the playmaker potentially? But I think the passing's too poor for that. So maybe retrain him as a centre mid? I don't know. Let me know what you think we could do with him in the comments. I'll be very interested because I want to keep this lad around. I've moved Hutchinson onto the bench. He's not great on the old fitness levels right now. I think he's been playing in some reserve games because he will get games for us this year, definitely. But I do want to give Ferro another chance in a more comfortable role. Shizzy, what on earth are you doing? Why are you not fit? We might actually have to start Afonso Mendoza in that role, just as I talked about what we need to retrain him, because Shizzy is just not fit. I can only assume I must have accidentally set him available for a reserve game, but I swear I took him out of those. That's going to be a pain in the arse, but luckily Anor will still play. Mendoza in the midfield. A few players with the lacking of the fitness levels, but hopefully we should be okay because it is Helsingor, a team that we've smashed 5-1 and 3-1 at home last year because of the way that they play. So I'm hoping they've got the same manager so we can keep doing it. That's my plan for the day because we've got a tough start. We've then got to play Viborg and Odense in our next 2 games, but these are teams that I hope we'll be fighting with for the top of the league this year. That's the plan anyway. Although, honestly, having the way that the summer's gone, I do wonder if it might just be a bridge too far for us. But we'll see. I still feel that there's a lot of hope for us to play well this year, provided we don't have those weird blips. Right, let's get into this game and hope that we can come up with something today. I want to see what the new lads are capable of. Hoping that we've got quite a few of them, to be fair, but at least the front line remains the same, and I'm hoping that extra link-up that we've already established with those 3 could come in very handy from the season's beginnings. So I do believe they are playing the same system as last season, which should be hopefully playing into our hands, but you never know what can happen in these situations. Mohamed is going to struggle at the back post now, and he's going to have to face off against Makutsa. Sorry about that. Right, let's see what we can do. They're going to go out there and enjoy themselves. We'll see what my assistant says. Whoa, okay, Faye got that goal against us in the away game, if I remember, so want to be careful there. So let's get into it. Question of the day, and today's question is this: do you ever look back at old FM saves? Not really. Occasionally, I sometimes see someone tweet about or talk to me on Twitter or on the YouTube comments about an old save, particularly things like Red Star and the big games. So yeah, I've seen a few of them, like old episodes of videos perhaps that relate to old saves. For example, that ridiculous comeback we got against PSV Eindhoven, where I think we drew 5-5 or something, where we were like 4-1 down with like 10 minutes left or something ridiculous. So yeah, that one was cool. Do you ever look back on old saves? If you do, let me know what and why. And if you have any ideas for a question of the day, drop those in the comments too with the hashtag QOTD. I'm looking for something good here today. I'm hoping that it's going to be the same kind of situation as all the previous games against Helsingor, where they batter us from range with long shots and we spring on the break for them. That's the way I'm looking at it anyway. We're going to close down Zacho and hope that things get going from there. Anor isn't great on his old fitness levels either. I think when he and Shizzy are capable of actually playing every week, because we've got another game coming up very, very soon after this one against Odense. Mendoza, is he going to take it? I don't know, actually. He'll be good when he gets some match fitness. Ball in, headed away. Mendoza will get to this, I think, or is Lopez going to be the one? Carrizo. Space out wide for Danny Lopez. Can he find a pass, though? Lots of players. He's found the side for Ferro. Can he go round? Oh, wait, no, it is a goal. And I think it's a goal for No, it's a goal for Nikolai Hegelshare. How did Hegelshare score that goal? I mean, if there was ever a way to go in front in the first game of the season, I can't believe Martin Ferro didn't score or square the ball here. What, does he just, like, tackle it into the net?
2 hours later.
Sorry. Oh, that is just... Mwah, mwah, that is beautiful. That is some bad football playing. I'm very glad that that's happened. Hopefully that's the catalyst for us taking over in this game, now that they've got to come at us. I was hoping we'd be able to catch them on the break, but it seems that they've gone one step further and... Oh, crap. Zacho, Mohamed, he'll probably shoot. He's gone too wide, I think. Although there is a man over... Oh, wow. Really, guys? You're going to let them do that? At least it's only 1-1 at this point. That's really, really poor. To let Mohamed actually make that run. I thought this was all clear here when Fair puts this ball across and it goes to nobody. But Mohamed, it's a great first touch from him. Gets it out of his feet. Defender just doesn't stay with him and he's able to whip it all the way through the corridor of uncertainty, and Michael Zacho at the far post puts it in. Disappointing that we've gone from me laughing at them to them doing that against us, which was quite laughably bad defending, to be fair. I'm not going to lie, I am incredibly disappointed with the way that we've started this game. I was expecting a lot better from us, to be fair, in the first sort of... I saw a home game against Helsingør and I thought, this is perfect for... Oh my goodness me. What are we doing? Is it because of the new players? Because nobody seems to be doing anything in today's game, and this is the same Helsingør that we were comfortably beating at home in the last season. Nobody's getting... Oh, good lord. Right, 30 minutes on the clock, and I'm going to switch the tactic up because we're now behind and thoroughly deserve to be behind. I don't understand what's happened here. He does need to be closed down. My God, does he need to be closed down. But I just don't understand what's happened in this match. Get to the ball. Oh my goodness. They've just turned into nonsense again. I thought that was going to go straight back to him. I don't know what's going on. Honestly, I have no idea what we're supposed to do at this point. Because this is the team we usually have a decent amount of success against, and we've done absolutely nothing in this game. And I don't know why. That is very strange. So, half-time. What on earth are we supposed to do about this? Gardner's having a woeful time of it. Ferro's having a woeful time of it. Brendan's having a woeful time of it. They have completely marked them out of the game, it would seem. Push Augustin up into midfield. He actually kind of can play there without me actually having to bring a substitute on, particularly as Benson isn't on the bench, so that literally isn't an option for us currently. Shizzy, maybe get him on for the second half because he is a lot better of a player. I know he's knackered, but at least giving him a half instead of a full game might help. And I might get Gravgård on in the second half too. I just don't know what's going on in this game. I'm hoping this isn't a theme because tactically it's the same tactic as last season. So it's definitely a player thing. I'm truly in shock here. It's 60 minutes into this game and we've still not had a shot yet. What are you doing? This is the worst I've ever seen this team play. I'm going to get Gravgård on just because he seems to create chances when he's on the pitch. I'm also going to tell us to push forward. Oh, demand more, rather. Actually, wait. Oh, great. I'm glad you can cancel those. That's useful. We'll go on to overload. Honestly, I have no answer for what on earth is going on in this match. I just don't know what's going on. It's crazy. Even when we've played poorly in the past, we have chances. We have shots, we have opportunities. Gardner's into the channel now. He'll probably shoot first time, though. And it said tripped from behind by Hagelshare, so why isn't it a penalty then? First chance of the game, though, finally. Curler. Mohamed, get out to him, make a tackle, or don't. Or just do nothing whatsoever in the entire match. Oh dear. Well, at least you're seeing probably the low point in terms of actual gameplay on this save, because I don't think we're ever going to play as badly as we have done today in a single match. I know I've said that a few times, but at least in those games, we've... Look at that! What? My life. I'm running out of things to say about it, to be honest. Also, I swear I made two changes. Oh no, I moved him up, didn't I? Right, we've got another option off the bench there. We're going to have to bring someone... Look at the strikers! Hutch, I guess, even though he's not fit particularly. Worst possible start to the season imaginable, to be fair. I don't think I could have made up a worse start if I tried here. Brendan O'Neill, back post, Martin Ferro's through. Can he score? What are you doing? How are we missing those? I mean, we've actually had chances to score 2 goals today, to be fair. Gardner was through and had an opportunity, and that had to be a goal for Ferro. There's no excuse for not scoring there. Or at least hitting the target. Up the pitch to Ferro, who does win the ball for once. Brendan O'Neill can bring it down. He's got Stephen Gardner in the middle. Can he find him? He might be able to. Hutchinson is in and it is 3-2. And amazingly, I forgot Stephen Gardner went off. Neil Hutchinson, who's bald now apparently. It's 3-2. And is there still a hope of us pulling out the most ridiculous mugging of well, this entire save. Brendan O'Neill with a great ball in. Neil Hutchinson getting across his man. Brilliant goal. And there's still 12 minutes to go. Can we come up with something here? I'm going to tell him to push forward. I'm also going to tell our wingbacks to go on attacking. Shizzy's been alright since he's come on, I guess. And Arnold's actually not done too badly. Right, let's go. 12 minutes playing like this. Is there a hope in hell of us achieving anything from this game? It would be the ultimate rescue mission, to be perfectly honest. Aarhus are beating Freymad. Not that that matters to us. Well, I mean, literally since I've made that change, there's been no highlights whatsoever in this game, and we're going to lose this 3-2. 3-2 is unbelievably flattering on us, to be fair. This game should be 5-0, probably. Oh, hello. Barrow, into the channel. Can he do something? He's going to lose the ball immediately, though, I expect. He's completely surrounded, and no surprise. Although we have got a free kick. One last chance in this game. Unlikely anything's going to come from it, though. Ball in. Cleared away, and that will probably do it. Shizzy won't even bother running. 3-2. We were very lucky to only lose that 3-2. I don't know what was going on in that match. The own goal gave us a false sense of security. Hutchinson's goal late on, the only real bright spark in that match. Oh, God. Worst possible start to the season that was. We've not been mugged off. They deserve the win completely comfortably. We didn't make any key passes. We did nothing. Hopefully, when players get some fitness back, build some links, we can come up with something, because that was just woeful. My God. I have no words for what just happened in that match. When I saw Helsingør was at home on the first day, I thought to myself, you know what? We've played well against them in recent years. This should be a home banker for us. Have they changed manager and he's changed their style of play or something? Let's see. History, managers. Date joined. 7th of... Yes, they have. I think it was this guy that was manager. Yeah, okay, so they do have a new manager, which means the tactic is different. Not that that's an excuse for playing so poorly against them, but it does explain why we weren't able to just waltz through them like we were in previous seasons. I wonder if Marienlyst have changed their manager, because it seems they're not starting too well. We are going to be doing, well, we've got Viborg and Odense, which is nice and easy, as you'd imagine. We've got a home game in the cup then, which should be, no, an away game, but should be winnable. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Yeah, let's do those. So we'll do Hobro and Freymad as the games in the next episode. So Hobro will be a tough one at home, but then Freymad, although we did lose 6 or 5-1 to them last year. In fact, these are the two teams that smashed us last year. So hopefully we can put those to bed and redeem ourselves a little bit. At least be in a slightly better position after this match. Fingers crossed, for crying out loud, because nothing could be worse than what we just experienced. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this episode, despite whatever that was, do drop a like on the video. That'd be amazing. And subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I'll see you guys in the next episode for the games at home against Hobro and against Freymad. Hopefully, there might be a cup game in between there as well, as always. Hopefully we can do a bit better. These games are going to be tough, but there's still chances for us. We've played well against Viborg before, and we're at home against Odense. You never know. We play away at Marienlyst, so maybe they've changed their tactic, I don't know, and away at Frem. I just want to make sure that we're not completely cut adrift of the playoffs by the time these games roll around, because this start of the season could be a real tough one for us. It really could. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.